Hello and welcome to the Craft Witch Corner, where I yap and craft. My name is Dex and my pronouns are he, they. Today's video is all about building my charm casting kit and some arts and crafts. Let's get into it. Part of my charm casting kit was sitting in storage for like a year or two. I'm not sure exactly how long, but I don't remember what exactly prompted me to pull it out and start working on it again. But I do know that the final straw for me, where I was like, okay, I'm grabbing it, I'm gonna keep building my kit, I need to do this now, was a video by Bits and Bob's Divination, which I will link. You should absolutely watch it. If you're interested in charm casting, go watch their video. It is probably much more informational and educational than this video will be. This is more of a fun little chat and some crafts. I have two different bowls in front of me. Well, one is a teacup, which I love this teacup. These are the charms that I have already figured out the meanings of. There's not very many in there. This is the bowl, I hope you can see properly, that is full of the ones whose meanings I have not decided. I am currently storing them in this and the teacup, but I'm going to be crafting a bag for my charm kit out of this fabric. It is darling. I love this fabric, and I've been wanting to do something fun with it for the day that I bought this. I was like, I want to do something cool with this, and then I think it's been 2 years. So that's one of the things. And I am also going to use this fabric, which I got on the same day from the same place, and I love it. It's a beautiful color. I'm gonna use this to make a charm casting mat, or maybe multiple. I might do a double-sided one and just paint rather than doing any kind of embroidery. I think that's a good idea, because then it's 2-in-1 and that's like more functional. So anyways, that is the plan. I'm gonna make a bag for my kit to be held in so that I can use these items that I'm storing my stuff in for now. And I'm going to make one or multiple charm casting mats for myself. I have never properly done charm casting before. I am not an expert. Go watch Bits and Bob's Divination charm casting videos, and I will try to link some other videos about charm casting from people who have been doing it for an actual amount of time. So yeah, I'm definitely not an authority on this at all. But I did just want to talk about my process of building it and why I chose certain items and what certain items represent, and making myself a little guidebook. Obviously, best, favorite, most incredible part, crafts. So yeah, let's get into it. This button right here is a button that represents my mom. So for me, the way that I use divination is very much not predictive, at least not at this point. That might change as I get more into my Say That practice, but at this point, I don't really divine the future. I am more so helping myself find clarity and kind of open my eyes to what's going on in front of me and like what I'm missing. And it's more of a tool of self-reflection and introspection. This rune, when it comes up, it represents my mom, and generally what that's going to mean is either WWMD, what would mom do, or I need to ask my mom for advice, because my mom has really good advice. She is a very wise lady and I love her very much, and whenever I go to her for advice, I feel loads better, and I just have found much more peace in the choices that I make from there. So this is a reminder to either reach out to my mom and ask what she thinks about a situation, or just put myself in her shoes and like, what would my mom do in this situation? So there's that. I have this little pendant that was my grandma's that represents my grandma, and this could be like a sign that my grandma's spirit is reaching out to me, that this is a message from my grandma, or to think about my grandma and how she lived her life and maybe some lessons that I can learn from that and apply that to the reading. So there's that one. There is this tree charm, which for me represents the tree. Slow down, be in the present moment, growth takes time. Not all of them have a normal and reversed or positive negative reading, but I have this quarter in here. In heads, it represents a positive outcome or a positive meaning or influence. And tails means negative outcome, negative influence, negative meaning. And that just will influence kind of what's going on. I have this earring that is a handcuff. And this is representative of self-imprisonment and feeling stuck. And that feeling and that desire of like needing to be free. Some of them are signifiers, so like the button that is a signifier for my mom, the snowflake that is a signifier for my grandma. Some are signifiers, some aren't. This one is one that I find really interesting. It's just a silver key and it represents a door opening, new opportunities, that sort of thing. Butterfly clip, it represents metamorphosis, transformation. The 3 dice that I have are like astrological dice that one of my friends from my coven sent me. Love you, bestie. Thank you very much. They also sent me the like guide of what the different things mean. So there's a number one, that's pretty easy, pretty simple, the numbers. And then there's the astrological signs. I mostly know what they mean, so that's easy, that's fine. But then there's the one that I can't remember what it means, so I will look at the guide and I will put on the screen. I'm gonna have to pull out and potentially print out that entire guide so that I can just add it to the back of this. I want to talk a little bit about how I chose my items. Something that I think a lot of people get caught up in is like, how do I pick items? Do I buy items? How do I find them? And I'm gonna look through and see. I didn't buy anything to add into this, like specifically to add into this. I'm definitely a crafting supply, I don't want to say hoarder, but like, I'm a pack rat, okay? When it comes to things, I'm very much a pack rat. So I just hold on to things. I love buttons, so I have a lot of buttons. I think I have like 5 buttons in this. So buttons, great place to start. I have like a wooden button. I have a mushroom button. I have this snowflake button. And then I have the button that represents my mom. I think I have another button somewhere. And then I have these like pins as well. And these I did buy, but I bought them for something else and then decided not to use them. And then I was like, oh, this is perfect. This would be so cute. I just kind of used random little bits and things. Dice, perfect addition. I have a D10. I think this is a D10. I'm not like 100% sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a D10 that my fiance gave to me a very, very long time ago. I have not decided what the meaning is yet, but it's gonna be something cool. You could always, if you wanted to, buy interesting dice like this, like the astrological dice, but you could also, I think, maybe not, I haven't tried this, but you could paint the different things and like paint different things on them and just try something like that. If you already have like a bunch of D&D dice or regular dice, any kind of dice, I think dice are like a really great addition. This is from like an old keychain. Here's another button. And obviously some kind of trash bits like soda tabs, those can mean things to you. I have a pin that I made. I have a lot of earrings and jewelry in here. This is a little coffin earring. These are all my gauges that no longer fit. This was from something a little NSFW that I'm not gonna talk about, but this is something. This is like a shark tooth. I don't even know where or when I got this, but I just like found it with my stuff and I was like, oh, hell yeah. This is just a little crystal mushroom that my best friend bought me years ago and I just happened to have it. Plastic thimble from a dollar store sewing kit that I got ages ago. And I don't use a thimble, so might as well add it into this. Thumb drive. I honestly don't even think that there's anything on here. I'm kind of scared to check. Maybe I should. But I just like found that with my stuff, you know? Bent nail. Who gives a fuck? I have like 2 or 3, I think I have like 3 rings in here. Safety pin. Like so much jewelry. A lot of it is jewelry actually. I also have this tiny little shell. And I have multiple little hair clips. The point is, use whatever. I have some rocks in here. And then another thing my best friend bought me, which again, I really wanted to use for a certain project, but then I was terrified of it falling off and getting lost. So I decided to add it in here instead because then I'm not gonna be so worried about losing it. I have these two items that used to go together, but I took them apart. This was an earring that is a little turtle. And then this is the like part that goes in your ear hole. And I took them apart and then I was like, ooh, this could also mean something. I don't know what yet, but absolutely. You can use all kinds of things. Jewelry you don't wear anymore, doesn't fit you anymore, buttons, stuff from sewing kits, little trinkets, stuff that would otherwise be trash, hair clips, like fucking anything. My charm casting kit at the moment has about 50 items in it. The video that I have linked in the description from Bits and Bob's Divination, they talk about, I can't remember what their pronouns are right now, so I'm just gonna use they, them, but I will add in here if I figure out if like what pronouns they use. But that is just something I generally like to do, is if I don't know, I will use they, them. So I hope that that does not bother anybody. Well, if it does, I'm not really that concerned. I hope it doesn't bother the person that I am they-theming. That's really the only person that matters. But anyways, they recommended, I think it was like at least 20 or 30 or something, just because if you have too few items, it'll be harder to work with. So yeah, they recommended having a certain amount. So I have about 50 and I am just doing, at the moment, one kit. I am just gonna use this mostly, I think, by myself, for myself, maybe with my ancestors if they would like to communicate with me through this, but probably more just self-work and working with the spirit of the kit. I have already asked both Freya and Loki, and neither of them want to communicate with me through my charm kit, so I already know I'm not going to make any kits for them or use this with them, but we'll see what other, you know, spirits I'm working with, how they feel about it. I am still getting to know these spirits, and I don't know quite yet how they all want to communicate with me most. I really look forward to finally getting all the meanings down so that I can actually do a full cast with these. I haven't done it yet because I don't have enough of them sorted out what I think they mean, but, and I'm not going to talk too deeply on this because in Bits and Bob's Divination, they go much more in depth about picking associations or figuring out associations for the different charms. For the most part, I wasn't really doing this from more of a spirit workplace. I think in their video they talk a lot more about it from more of like a get to know the spirit of this item, the energy of this item, and let it tell you what it wants to be. I think that's fantastic advice. For me, I've been doing it from a slightly different place where it's more based on what it looks like to me, more based on what I think and feel directly right away when I look at it, because I want this to be super intuitive. I don't want to have to like search through and like figure out what it means. I just want to be like, a butterfly represents transformation. Easy. So there are some items in here that I have not yet sorted out the meanings of, that like I'm having a hard time figuring out the meanings based on that more logical way of doing it. So I will probably have to work more with their spirits to figure that out. But I think either way is completely fine. It just kind of depends on how you want to work with it and how you want to build it. There's obviously many different ways that you can build a guidebook, but for me, I really like to make little journals myself. This one is not anything too special. I just took some papers, I cut them down to a small size, and I just used my bookbinding thread to bind it. And it's nothing special, and it's just white paper. Normally, I really, really love to dye paper with coffee, and I wanted to do that with this, but I also just needed to be able to have it ready. So I started this in March 18th. And I haven't worked on it since March, I don't think. Yeah, March 22nd was the last time I worked on meanings here. But I've been busy doing other stuff, so that's okay. I am going to try to make a drawstring bag. If I cannot figure out how to do a drawstring bag, I will do a zipper bag. If I cannot figure out how to make a zipper bag, I am going to do buttons. For this, I do think I'm going to make it kind of like thick. I am going to cut them out and then paint them and then sew them together. And I want them to be, I want it to be kind of thick, so I might use 2 to 4 layers for this. I want it to be like good quality, sturdy, durable. I don't want it to be so flimsy and floppy, you know? So I think 4 layers is gonna be a good choice for this. I am probably going to look at some Pinterest or YouTube inspo on other people's casting mats to see kind of how I want to do it. So yeah, we're just gonna do that. There's a squirrel. There's a squirrel running from some dogs barking. You're good. Yeah, keep going, you got this. Look at you go. Yo, that squirrel is fast as fuck, boy. Hello and welcome to Voice Over Me. We're just going to have a real quick chat about how this first ever time casting went. You can see I was way too excited to do this after finally finishing all the meanings that I didn't even wash off the marker on the mat. I just went right into a reading, and here we are. So I'm just going to give a brief summary of how it went and all of that. So firstly, I want to say this is the most incredible first time reading with the divinatory system I've ever had in all my years of practicing. Like, wow, it was easy to interpret, it resonated, it made sense, it was clear, it was just really good. The question I asked was how to work on being silent so that I can listen. This is something I've been tasked with by 3 or so spirits in my practice, and it is related specifically to meditation and spirit work. So let's talk about how this message arms relates to my question. The very first thing is a need to be really kind with myself throughout this process, because it is not going to happen overnight. I need to be patient. I need to understand that this work will take time. There was a need to create a cleanse, reset, protect ritual, which I have already done and used, and it worked very well. A big problem here for me is that I think that I am incapable of doing this work, and therefore I'm struggling so much more than I would be in trying to improve. And right now is the time for me to just believe in myself and be confident that I can do it. And once I sit with that confidence and really believe in myself, the proof of my progress will begin to show. Being able to sit in silence for as long as it takes for the answers to come. There is a very strong need to cultivate patience, which is definitely something I struggle with. So there's going to be a lot of work here for me to do. I need to stop seeking answers outside of myself and trust that I know what is right and what is best and what will work. There's a need here to work with the sun around self-confidence, tapping into my masculinity, motivation, and my personal power, and a need to work with Saturn on self-discipline, self-control, patience, and practicality. The final actionable step here is to create a practical plan for this work and actually stick to it, which I have already made the plan. I don't think anybody will be surprised to hear that it relates to Psychic Witch by Matt Ward. I am going to be working through the preliminary focus exercise in a broken down way so that it's more approachable for me to slowly work my way up to counting from 100 to 0 3 times without any distractions. So I really look forward to working on this. It's going to be very difficult for me as somebody who has a lot of struggles with focus and inner silence and patience, but I look forward to seeing all the growth that will come from this. I really hope that you enjoyed this video as much as I did. Please leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you would like to see or hear more from me in the future. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay crafty and stay kind.